So yeah, we'll go to bowl games, and there, like I said, 11 games up until next Wednesday, the 23rd. So where's the 22nd? Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Let's start with the Lazy Bowl, the Bahamas Bowl in Nassau, Bahamas. It's the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders versus the Toledo Rockets. What do you think in this game?
I mean, I think Toledo is going to win. I'm going to rep the MAC there. Toledo's, I don't know, they've been really good the last few years in the MAC. They've got a pretty good offense. DeQuan Finn's good. He's only thrown 1 interception this year. They've got a tailback, Kovac, so almost 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. Pretty good. Only 190 carries as well. And then Middle Tennessee State is like, Michigan played them a few years ago, and Middle Tennessee State was just like kind of annoying in that game, if I remember.
I remember that. And they started some
out, but like
they started some little skittish quarterback that was able to.
He was like making plays though, and it was annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna go Toledo by touchdown or 2. Not gonna watch the game. It's at noon on.
Yeah, it's during workday on like a Thursday or something.
Yeah, it's Friday. It's
Friday. Yeah, so
it's upcoming Friday at noon. If anybody wants to tune in.
Yeah. So I think the Rockets are in the Bahamas Bowl back-to-back years now. They lost last year in a really good game actually against Florida International, 35-32.
Yeah.
Toledo hadn't even won or lost 2 games in a row this season until the end of the final month of the season. I just feel like they've faced more competition though than Middle Tennessee, and they only lost by 3 points to Notre Dame this year. So they're capable of putting up a fight. I'm going to say Toledo 30-20 if I'm going to put a score on it. All right. The Cure Bowl, the Northern Illinois Huskies that are 9-4 versus the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They're 10-2. Coastal's put up a nice season, and I think it's perhaps one of the best early bowl games. Both group of 5 programs are coming off terrific campaigns, motivated to seal the season with a validating win. So I think the winner of this game is going to own the time of possession battle. Coastal was in the Cure Bowl last year, losing a phenomenal game actually to Liberty in overtime. Grayson McCall is their quarterback this year, and I think he's been great for him. If they get him,
isn't he hurt though?
I thought he was eligible to play this game. And last I checked it, but again, college is like harder to find injury reports on. But
I know he got hurt. It looks like, I just looked it up a little bit. It looks like he's probably going to play, and he's good. That makes a difference. He's very good.
Yeah. I just figure, if they get up by 2 scores, I think NIU is one of those teams that can self-destruct and make dumb mistakes when they're pressed.
Yep.
Still a sensational year for NIU because this is their first year under Thomas Hammock, head coach, and they were 0-6 last year, and they went to being a MAC champ this year. I'm still picking Coastal 24-16. It could be a sloppy game, just with maybe McCall trying to get reacclimated, and NIU. I think they're going to get down by 2 scores, and I think they might press a bit. So, and not a bunch of superstars jump out. It's just kind of a collective effort for them to be where they are this year.
They run a really Coastal runs a really cool offense too. They got a lot of interesting option plays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cool.
McCall fits really well for that offense. Like you said, that makes a huge difference. But Hammock's been a good coach for NIU, so maybe you hope that continues for the sake of being a MAC team. But
yeah, I'm going to go with Coastal. They're a better team, and last couple of years they've been really emerged as a really good program. And then I don't know, like NIU. I mean, we watched them play Michigan. Obviously, they got annihilated. That was one of the more dominating games I remember watching this season. But NIU's got some talent. I mean, Rocky Lombardi, while he's not a great Big Ten quarterback, he's a good MAC quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I watched their MAC championship game, at least a good portion of it, and they look good. So I think it could be a little bit of a game, but I do think Coastal ends up winning by 10 points or so.
Yep, you're all right. The Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 8-5 versus the Appalachian State Mountaineers, who are 10-3. This is another game I'm excited to watch, man, because first off, I talked about Bailey Zappa. I'm a huge fan of what he's been able to do this year, and obviously it's a lesser division, but that's still impressive to do that. Appalachian State puts out a good product almost annually. Western Kentucky has an explosive offense. I believe they're second only to Ohio State in the entire FBS.
Yep.
So yeah, Bailey Zappa to Jarrett Stearns has pretty much the offense hummed to 43 points a game.
Stearns has a chance, I'm pretty sure, to break Michael Crabtree's single season receptions record for the NCAA.
I thought Zay Jones had that record.
Or maybe it is Zay Jones. Yep. It might be.
I mean, last I looked, he was like 20 catches behind. So he'd have to.
So maybe it was second then, because I think he's in third.
Yeah, I think we talked about like a couple weeks ago. Last week when I talked about Heisman potentials, like Stearns, I think he's going to finish top 3 in catches. I mean,
he might already be. Let's see, he's got 137.
I thought he was 7th all time before this. Going into this game, he's 7th all time.
Okay, that's probably not far off though. He'll probably won't catch Zay Jones then.
Yeah, Zay's like I think it's more than 21 catches, but
he's had multiple games where he's been like close to 20 catches though. Not saying he would, but like
not against Appalachian State.
Yeah, that's insane. But
Well, so the offense scores 43 points a game for Western Kentucky, and Zappa possibly ties or breaks Joe Burrow's record this game too. So it's another fun thing to look at. Appalachian State has a top 20 defense in the FBS. They only allow 19.5 points a game. I'm obviously rooting for Zappa to at least tie the record, and I'm going to take Western Kentucky with a 38-27 win.
Nice. So I found the stats. Just to throw that out there. The Zay Jones is 158 catches, so he's 19 off of him. Stearns is right.
Okay.
He's one currently behind Nate Burleson, who had 138 for Nevada in 2002. There's an old name. And Jordan White had 140 for Western.
Yep.
In 2011, I remember that. And then also this season, Calvin Turner for Hawaii had 146.
Oh,
he doesn't even lead the NCAA in catches.
Wow.
Which is crazy. He's got a chance to finish third. Freddie Barnes had 155 in 2009 for Bowling Green. If he catches him, then that would be absurd. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Zappa really tries to feed him. And if he's got I have a feeling that if he's got 10 at halftime, I have a feeling that they're going to keep trying to get it to Stearns, whether it's just jet screen passes or whatever.
That's a lot of that offense too, is just the quick passes and stuff, and that counts as a catch, just the same. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, I think Stearns is still averaging. He's averaging a pretty good chunk per catch, still. It's not
he's 17. He's averaging 12.5 a catch with 137 catches. That's pretty good.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, 14 is considered pretty. So.
Yep. But that's with less catches. 14 would be, that's if he had 90 catches. He's got 140. So
who you picking in that game?
I'm going to pick NIU. App State's good. App State's probably the favorite.
What you're picking? Western Kentucky?
Or Western Kentucky, sorry. App State's kind of a push though. App State I think is a 3-point favorite last I looked. So I'll do Western Kentucky there. Okay. I enjoyed watching them in their conference championship game too. They were certainly outclassed in that game, but it was fun to watch. They kept it close for a while. So
yeah. New Mexico Bowl, the UTEP Miners 7-5 versus Fresno State Bulldogs, who are 9-3. UTEP is back in a bowl game for the first time since 2014, and this is only their second winning season since 2005.
Yeah.
Fresno State's quarterback Jake Hayner, I think, will have a field day.
Really good.
Yeah, they were so close to the Mountain West title game and UTEP is still getting their feet underneath them. So right. I think I'm gonna actually take a blowout win for Fresno, and I'm gonna say 42-20.
Yep, I would agree with that. Hayner's good. I've watched him a few times, and he's legit. I mean, he's got NFL chance eventually. So.
I agree. Yeah.
I like him a lot actually down the road as a draftable guy. So
Independence Bowl, the Alabama Birmingham Blazers, who are 8-4 versus the number 13 Brigham Young Cougars, who are 10-2. I think this is probably one of the closest finishes this bowl season. This game could go really either way. I like what I've seen from both, but I'm going to take BYU 30-27 on a game-winning field goal. How about that?
All right, that'd be cool. I'll go BYU. I mean, they're like a touchdown favorite right now, probably. I just think their defense is just going to be at a little bit different level than UAB's used to this season. And BYU's got Hall at QB, who's been decent. Good running back. He's got 20 touchdowns on the ground this year. So, I just think in general, BYU is just kind of a step up. I mean, they're ranked like 13th in the country, which I mean, they're probably not the 13th best team in the country, but
when you're an independent conference, that's just
10-2. Yep, and 10-2, and you've beaten some decent teams that'll get you there. So,
yep. The Lending Tree Bowl. Eastern Michigan Eagles 7-5 versus the Liberty Flames, who are also 7-5. This is a good game to watch because, obviously we're from Michigan, so it's a local game. But Malik Willis for Liberty is a guy that a lot of people were talking about. So maybe that early second-round pick for the Lions. If he somehow falls there, he's also potential end of first round QB.
His stats are not amazing this year.
Yeah, they turned the ball over a little bit too much.
But I don't know how much to look into that as far as is it his team? What does he have around him type of stuff. So, but he also leads his team in rushing too. So, he's got.
He's super athletic, and I think he's going to put up good numbers even at the combine this year. So, that's something. He's a reason to pay attention to the game. It's refreshing to see Eastern Michigan back into in the bowl ranks, though. Definitely. They've only had 5 bowl games their entire lifetime of being a program.
Yep.
Hugh Freeze hasn't lost a bowl game with Liberty yet, though. Yeah. Eastern plays really hard, and they're actually the least penalized team in the FBS. So extremely disciplined for a team that plays as hard as they do. I still think that they're overmatched for the athleticism of Willis. I think I'm going to go 41-18 Liberty.
Yeah, I'll go Liberty. Maybe not. I'll go like 35-14, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every bowl season has a couple blowouts, so you never know when they're going to fall. And I was picking this as one of them.
Sure.
Then a new bowl game, Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium. The Utah State Aggies, who are 10-3, versus the Oregon State Beavers 7-5.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Oregon State here. They've just played a better schedule by far. Utah State doesn't impress me. I mean, Bonner, their quarterback, has got 36 touchdowns through the air this year. That's pretty good, but they've got a real good receiver in Tompkins, who's he's averaging like 17 yards a catch and almost 100 catches. But I think Oregon State just plays a better brand of football. They play better competition. And I'll pick them in a closer game. This will probably be one of the closer games in my opinion, but I'll pick them by a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. Oregon State, they've definitely superseded expectations this year. They weren't expected to be really a factor at all in the Pac-12.
No.
So there's that chance that maybe they just lay a dud, like some people would have expected to start the season. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Utah State is a consistent middle to top team in the Mountain West every year. They just haven't beaten a Power 5 team in a bowl game. Yeah. So I think Utah State will do well passing the football. Oregon State will run all over them. But I think the Pac-12 skill players will be more impactful on defense when it counts. So I think Oregon State should win, and I'll say 31-21.
All right.
The New Orleans Bowl, number 23, Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns, who are 12-1, versus Marshall Thundering Herd, 7-5.
I'm gonna go with the Raging Cajuns. Obviously their record stands out, 12-1. They did Billy Napier's not going to coach in this game for them. He's already at Florida. So that conference championship game was their last game with him. But they just kind of seemed like a team that they weren't going to be scrambling in that type of situation because they knew and they understood hey, he had to go. And they're still going to be fired up and they're still going to be, ready to move forward as a program. From what I can tell, just watching them. They were just excited to still have another game. So I'm going to go with them 31-20.
That's a good score. So it's interesting. We're still not, even after this pick, we're still not going to have a single game different in our predictions, which that's fun. I mean, what are the chances, honestly?
That actually
maybe we get one of these 11 that's different at some point here. But so I put my notes kind of is, Grant Wells is a good quarterback from Marshall. He's maybe not the second coming of Chad Pennington, but he's done well. Rasheen Ali at running back is the bigger concern for the Raging Cajun defense. He's burrowed 20 touchdowns on the ground this year. Just good hard runner. Thankfully, the 11th best scoring defense in the FBS has only allowed 15 points a game in the last 3 games. So it's hard to pick against LL this year. They look strong behind Levi Lewis at quarterback, and the defense looks even stronger. So I'm going to give them the win. But I think it'll be close. I think it could be 20-24.
Yeah. And they'll be at home, basically, in the New Orleans Bowl.
So. That's true. Yeah, that's another thing to look at. Where is Marshall again? I'm sure.
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay. Myrtle Beach Bowl. The Old Dominion Monarchs, who are 6-6, versus the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes, also 6-6. Both teams turn the ball over so much. This is going to be a disgusting game. In fact, they're the most. Both of them are have the most turnovers of any other bowl team this year. So, and it's all in one game. The worst two in all the bowls. Old Dominion started this season 1-6, and Tulsa started 3-6. So they both had to win out to get here. Tulsa's just played way more, won bigger games against SMU and Memphis, and they had a battle against Cincinnati in the middle of the season. And plus, I think Tulsa has alternated a win-loss in like the last 6 games. So if you're going to play by the win-loss, I'm going to take Tulsa 34-17 to just indoctrinize that.
Yeah, I was going to take Tulsa just for the fact that they played Ohio State kind of close earlier this year. So for a while. They
played Ohio State too? I knew they played Cincy.
Yeah, they lost to Ohio State early.
Well, they've had some tough games then.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a game at halftime or like for a while. So, I mean, they were leading actually for a good portion of that game. So, yeah, I'm going to take Tulsa. I think there will be some turnovers though.
They're an over aggressive team, which I mean that can play into your favor to pull off upsets. Like you said, they hung with Cincinnati, they hung with Ohio State. That's got to mean something. But 3 more games here. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State Golden Flashes, who are 7-6, take on the Wyoming Cowboys, who are 6-6. Now they're 2 completely different style offenses. Yeah. Wyoming plays a very slow and methodical game, kind of like the Detroit Lions do. And Kent State literally plays like a flash, kind of like their nickname. They're very fast paced. They're explosive. They're toward the top 3. They're toward the top in 3 and outs, but they're also towards the top 3 in plays over 40 yards in the FBS. The defense is really bad for Kent State, like really bad. So Wyoming should get stops, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Kent State has like some last minute touchdown in a big play to give them a win. So I'm going to take Kent State 39-34 when they score with about a minute and a half left.
And this is where we change because I'm going to go with Wyoming.
All right.
Because
I knew this was an either or game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a great reason. I just think they'll control the clock a little bit better. And I watched Kent State in the MAC championship, and it was like, what is this? Like this defense was not good, like at all.
It's a bad defense.
So I think Wyoming will have some success running the ball and probably not throwing the ball because they don't do it very often. But yeah, I think they'll be able to control a game up front.
Yeah, that adds up. I mean, I literally looked at the game and I'm like, this is like a 50-50. It's going to be, because the Lions, if they play with the Lions hanging games, they definitely shouldn't just because they control the ball.
Yep.
And the defense can play hard. So it's like, if that's the situation, then, that bodes well for Wyoming. But I feel like college football and bowl games, it's kind of like March Madness. And I feel like explosive is better, but I don't, that's my only logic behind my pick there. But that's kind of nice that we have something different there. The Frisco Bowl, the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, who are 12-1 versus the 24th ranked San Diego State Aztecs, who are 11-2. Now, the UTSA, they're pretty much just outside the top 25. I think if you look at the vote getters, honorable mentions, I think they're like first or second in honorable mention. Yeah. So they're kind of just on the outside looking in. This is a really close game with San Diego State being 24. It's the inconsistency at quarterback that will hurt San Diego State, though. Yep. While Frank Harris has epitomized consistent and excellent for the Roadrunners at quarterback, it helps with the run game with Sincere McCormick.
Who's very good.
Who's just as great and probably better than Frank Harris even is as a quarterback. Nearly every win was 8 points or less for the Aztecs, so they play a lot of close games. Mm-hmm. But their loss against the Utah State, 46-13, was brutal enough to say they can't handle Texas San Antonio. So I'm saying 42-21 UTSA.
I'm saying San Diego State in this game. I
All
just
right.
think they are UTSA. Well, is a really nice story. They really have not played anybody. Not that San Diego State has either. But I'm just going to go with Brady Hoke here.
I love it. You love it. You've not given up on the man, Brady Hoke.
No, I gave up on him, but not for this game.
Not for just one
San
time.
Diego State. I mean, San Diego State did beat Utah, who just pounded Oregon twice.
That's true. I mean, but like the Lions
early in the year, but
the Lions beat the Vikings, who beat the Packers. Who are the best.
The transitive property always works in football.
I know. Yeah. The Armed Forces Bowl for the last one for this week's podcast. Missouri Tigers out of the SEC, 6-6 versus the Army Black Knights, who are 8-4. Now, Army just got upset by Navy. And it's always a good rivalry game, regardless. So it's definitely not devoid or able to not happen or something. But
especially two option teams. It's just,
they know they've studied, they play that, they know how to stop it.
Right.
It's like Missouri hasn't seen it very much, and a lot of the teams Army has beaten with their 8 wins this year have never seen anything like it either. So it makes a difference. Missouri's been pretty mediocre this year, outside of the exceptional season on the ground by Tyler Batty.
Yep.
It will be a run-heavy game for both sides for obvious reasons. Army plays very strong, disciplined defense, but they don't have much offensive firepower. It's just kind of chip away, running their wing tee. So I'm going to take Army, though, on a 24-20 win.
I'm going to take Army because I think they'll control the game, and I don't think in a bowl game, especially, like, I just don't see Missouri's got better athletes, but they're probably not as much better as you think. Army's disciplined, obviously. And, when you're playing a team like Army, you can just get frustrated and force some things because you barely have the ball.
Yeah.
And, you have to capitalize when you have the football. And, I think Army's going to shrink the game and win a close one.